Hey, it's John F. Gately. Welcome back to the channel. It's becoming increasingly obvious here in Massachusetts that even a measured police response can very easily be called racist by certain race hustlers and grifters here in Massachusetts. Let's take a look at the controversy relative to the Boston Marathon that's been brewing all week.
Well, Ryan, it gets pretty crazy here along the marathon route here in Newton and all up and down the course. But one group is complaining that police were called to curb their enthusiasm, they say, because of the color of their skin. And now, marathon organizers who called police.
Now, that's a very serious allegation that the police enforce the rules selectively.
They were wrong to do that.
And now the police are apologizing. But is there any proof that they enforce the rules selectively?
Why are we surrounded by police? Why are we surrounded by police?
Boston Marathon organizers are apologizing for this police response along the race in Newton Monday.
First off, I just say it's not the organizer's job to apologize for the police. The organizers run the race. The police are governed or managed by the city of Newton, which is different than the city of Boston. It's a separate municipality.
Members of two racially diverse running clubs from Boston say they felt targeted.
It seems like you're using some kind of implicit bias to single us out and say that, well, this group must be doing something wrong. Look at them.
Mike Remy.
Well, actually, they were doing something wrong, and he's going to admit it, and there's plenty of video to prove it.
Group members were very enthusiastic and went out onto Commonwealth Ave near Hart.
The group members went out onto Commonwealth Ave. You can't do that. Now, for those of you across the country who have never been to the Boston Marathon, or maybe not to a marathon anywhere, but you can't get out on the road, on the course. The course is on a street, and the street is roped off.
Kill to support runners they knew. It's technically against the rules for
It's technically against the rules. They admit they did it. But of course it's racism.
Spectators to go onto the street. Newton police.
In that last clip there, they're blowing confetti at a racer, whom they probably know, a runner that they probably know, but that confetti also can cause a problem. It was very damp on this past Monday. You know, it can cause a issue for runners if they slip.
Marathon officials asked them to take added steps to keep people off the course.
So the Newton police actually responded to this incident because of the marathon proctors, the people that, watch the course. They saw that there was an issue. They called for the police assistance.
The makeup of the group looked different, as it does in Wellesley and Natick and Framingham and other places on the course. These same things are happening, but no one was calling.
Officials from the...
Well, okay, so in regards to that, because it's 26.1 miles, right? There are different ethnic groups around on the course in different towns, but there is no proof, none, that other people in the city of Newton that were, let's just say, white, were also on the course, and that they were allowed to do that where the black people were not allowed to do. There's no proof that the rules were enforced selectively. There's no other incidences that have been come to light from Monday where white people, for instance, were allowed to get out on the course and cheer on their runners, but black people weren't. There's no proof of that. The only incident that is getting any attention, is an incident where some of these folks are black and they went out on the course to cheer on their runners, which is against the rules. That's why there's the rope line.
Saying, this year, we know that we did not deliver on our promise to make it a great day for everyone. Remy hopes something good can come from this incident.
There's a better way forward, and hopefully we can all work together to get there.
There's a better way because you have implicit bias. And understand how implicit bias works. Implicit bias works like this. You've heard me say this before on this channel. You're a witch, and we're going to tie you to a chair. We're going to dunk you in a pond. And if you die, well, then you're a witch. If you somehow escape, well, then you used your witchcraft to escape. And, well, obviously you're a witch. That's the argument of implicit bias. You're guilty either way. Now, I got to credit the Newton mayor who today has finally come up and actually was somewhat of a voice of reason here.
More about what happened on Monday, and we're hearing for the first time from Newton's mayor and the head of Metrolec Police. Newton and Metrolec Police using their bikes to create a barrier between a group of spectators and marathon runners. It happened Monday along Heartbreak Hill, a spot where two running groups that promote diversity say they felt intimidated and targeted.
It definitely made us feel like we don't belong there, that we're not welcome there, even though we've been there for 5 years.
Elise Lash with Pioneers Run Crew declined further comment tonight, but after meeting last night with the Boston Athletic Association.
You can see there that that's the cops finding with their bicycles, basically cordoning it off. You can see also that there are two in the far back right, a couple of other additional law enforcement across the street, and you can also see the rope line that is used to keep people back.
BAA President Jack Fleming apologized to the running groups, saying, "We need to do better to create an environment that is welcoming and supportive of the Black, Indigenous, and people of color communities at the marathon." Newton Mayor Ruth Ann Fuller tonight broke her silence on the incident in her weekly newsletter, saying it was BAA staff.
Okay, in that clip right there you can actually see the people with their banner running along the street. That is the course. You're not allowed to do that. Get off the course. That's dangerous for the participants, the runners.
Staffers on scene who notified Newton police three times about spectators traversing the rope barrier and impeding runners. And Fuller says it was only after the crowd ignored repeated requests by police that officers calmly used bicycles for a period to demarcate the course and keep both the runners and spectators.
That's right, Ruth Ann Fuller, Mayor Newton. Officers calmly use bicycles. Do you see them being like aggressive? No, they're just standing in a row using bicycles. But of course, that's racist because as a police officer, you're doing your job and you're policing African Americans, blacks. And whenever you do that, you're obviously a racist.
Tonight, the head of Metrolec Police telling News Center 5 the officers acted fairly, impartially, and conducted themselves respectfully and professionally, but that police welcomed the opportunity to engage in a dialogue that fosters mutual understanding and respect. And Newton Mayor Ruth Ann Fuller went on to say that she knows how this unfolded was deeply upsetting for the running groups. She says they will always be welcome here in Newton, and she is inviting them to meet with her and the Newton police.
Great. They're invited to meet with the mayor. That will be a kind of Maoist struggle session, right? That's what it's going to be. Because whenever you do your job as a cop here in Boston, you're basically a racist. We've seen that over in Harvard just this past week. Here is, actually, this is a story from today, Friday the 21st. Black student organizations blast Harvard's response to swatting incident in letters signed by 45 campus groups. So what happened, I think this was earlier this month, during an April 3rd incident. Harvard officials say campus officers responded around 4 a.m. to 3 calls from an anonymous mail caller claiming he had taken a female hostage in a room at Lever House and tried to kill her. Well, that is an alarming situation. Imagine being the dispatcher getting that call. And school officials said that the officers followed the protocols in the incident. And there's no allegation that the officers didn't follow the protocols, and certainly you're responding to a threatening situation. You're going to a situation where theoretically an African American is in harm, and you're going at 4 o'clock in the morning. You're risking your life to do this as a police officer. And so according to these 45 groups on campus at Harvard University, that's racist. Let's see if we can get the quote for them. Here it is here. I can't even believe I'm going to read this. "We strongly believe that the university's response to the swatting incident reflects a deep investment in protecting a false institutional image over a sincere commitment to the well-being of black students targeted and the black community at whole." What did they want? Did they want just the no response? What if it was a legit phone call or 3 phone calls? What if those phone calls were legit? Don't you want a response in that case? Don't you want a response in that case? So just because they showed up, cops rolling heavy, I'm sure, because they're trying to save someone's life. Trying to save someone's life, and yeah, they didn't know. They didn't know that the call was a false alarm or a fake. They didn't know it was a fake call. We assert black students should not have to live in fear of the police force being used as a weapon against them. Again, they're responding to a call of someone in immediate distress. We condemn the university's failure at large to protect the black community's emotional and physical well-being in the aftermath of such trauma. But that's how it goes here in Massachusetts. Cops doing their job are almost always accused of being racist. They're just doing their job. Now, again, in the city of Newton, if you could have found some other group of white folks that were on the course, and there's plenty of video of this for the black folks that were on the course, if you could find a group of white folks that were on the course and they were allowed to be on the course, but the black folks were not allowed to be on the course, then that is disparate enforcement of law. That would be wrong. That would be wrong in every instance. That they're enforcing the rules against black people but not white people. That is 100% wrong. We condemn that. But that's not the situation here. There's no incident that anyone can point to and say, hey, listen, the white running club was allowed to get onto the course. There's nothing like that. Nothing at all like that. If there was, then I would totally agree with them. Totally agree with the African-American black running club if it was a disparate enforcement of the law. But no one is saying that. No one has any proof of that because that wasn't the case. All right, I'm John F. Gately from Plymouth, America's hometown in Massachusetts. Have a great day.